Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sports by Cap podcast, episode number 9, where we're going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks salary cap situation. So let's go take a look at their books and let's retool Giannis's Bucks while Damian Lillard recovers from his injury. And by the way, Damian Lillard, quick recovery, my friend. So let's take a look at the Milwaukee Bucks. So we can see their payroll here, and they have $163.8 million committed to Giannis, Dame, Kyle Kuzma, AJ Green, Chris Livingston, Andrew Jackson Jr., and Tyler Smith. Kevin Porter Jr., Pat Connaughton, and Bobby Portis are all possible free agents if they opt in or out. I believe that if they opt out, they'll restructure for longer term deals. But it really depends on Giannis. So let's go through a couple different scenarios. And in this situation, we're going to assume that Giannis is staying put. Okay, that the Bucks ownership come to him when they have their meeting and they say, listen, Giannis, we're going to have a gap year. We're going to trade Damian Lillard to a non-contender, someone that will buy him out, and then we'll get you a replacement of some sort. Okay. Now, it's not unheard of that a player that's injured gets traded. I don't think that they can trade him. Actually, I think they can trade him even if he's injured, because the Brooklyn Nets traded for Kevin Durant in a sign-in trade. I don't know the whole part of that, but let's just say that Damian Lillard stays put, and let's look at their books that way first, and then let's trade Damian in the second scenario, and let's get Giannis some help. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all of these cap holds except for Giannis's brother, okay? But the rest of them, I want them to go. Brook Lopez, I'm going to let him stay around for now, okay? Because in this scenario, we're just we're reloading. So I'm going to re-sign his brother. Okay. I'm going to re-sign Brook Lopez. We're going to give him a 3-year deal. Okay. And then I'm going to renounce this guy. We're going to renounce all these other players because the reason for that is we want to get under the cap, under the first tax, so we can have some flexibility. Okay, because we want to make a championship move here. So let's look at. So we're at $190 million. Okay, and we don't have a lot of space. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to call up the Brooklyn Nets because I need a team with cap space and they have a ton of it. So we're going to call up the Nets and say, hey, take on Kyle Kuzma for me. Okay. And take on Damian Lillard for me. And let's try that. Now the Nets can do this, but I need to renounce their other players to get them cap space. So let's try that. Okay, so I can't do that right now with the Nets. So for right now, we're going to leave Dame here. And what I want to do is I want to go whale hunting. So I'm going to call the Phoenix Suns and say, look, let's do a Damian Lillard for Kevin Durant trade. Okay? That works. So we just trade Kevin Durant straight up for Damian Lillard. And let's also say, okay, we'll also take Bradley Beal, which I don't know why we would, but actually, no, we're not going to take Bradley Beal. In this trade, we're just taking Kevin Durant. So with that, our payroll is 189 million, and it may be right at the line with these two salaries, well, three salaries. So that's one trade scenario that we could do. Okay, now that's not an all-in move, I don't think, but it at least makes them competitive. Here's another move that they could do. And this is the one I want them to do because Trae Young is a distressed asset. He's got a player option after this year, so it's basically a one-year deal. They could literally do this, okay? Damian Lillard for Trae Young. That's a successful move. The other thing you do is keep Damian Lillard and Trae Young, and we could trade Kyle Kuzma and a bunch of minimum players. That's about 24, 26. Oh, not Connaughton, because he's got a player option, so I can't trade someone with a player option. So I need to cut 11 million. So I have to cut. I'm not cutting these guys. I'm just renouncing their rights. So I can't use their bird rights to re-sign them. Giannis's brother I want to keep. I don't want to get rid of him. Okay. Now that should be enough to clear. Okay, we're not there yet, but we're close. We need to cut 3 million. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to sign this guy to a 3-year deal. I'm going to give him 3 million and trade him to the Hawks. Okay, and that should there you go. So now we got Trae Young. Okay, so here's our starting lineup, and they would fill it in with good pieces. But you got Damian Lillard, who's injured, Trae Young, Pat Connaughton, Giannis, Bobby Portis, and then Giannis's brother, and also Brook Lopez. I would re-sign him, but I think he wants 20 million. I would not give him 20 million. I would give him about 12 million. Okay. And actually, I would give him a 1-year deal because I don't know how long he's got, and I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's worth 22 million. Not at this stage of his career. Okay. The guy is what, 39, 37. Okay. So those are really the moves that the Bucks can make. Now, we can look at a couple more. So let's kind of look at the players that are available here. You see? So, True Holiday. So here's another one. And this is a realistic trade that they could do because True Holiday for Kyle Kuzma. Okay. We have to cut 2 million from our payroll. And we should be there. Let's see if this works. There you go. I think this is a realistic move because they need a point guard, and then you keep your core in place, and it's basically a replacement for Damian Lillard for this year. And then they're the same age too. He plays really good defense. They won a championship with him. And I just think that they can be very competitive with True Holiday on the team. Okay, so I really like that move. I think that'd be a great move. And that's one that they should consider. If they wanted to get real wild, they could call the Suns up and move Dame for Kevin Durant and also acquire True Holiday. So you could do this. You could get Durant for Damian Lillard. Okay. And that works. Okay, so now they've completely reloaded. Okay. And so I can re-sign Brook Lopez. We'll just give him whatever he wants at this point. That's absurd, but we'll go with it. We need to fill out the roster, so I'm going to pay Giannis's brother, give him a 4-year deal. Okay. And then we have 2 more spots to fill. So I want to grab the young cats and re-sign them so we're locked in. And then there should be 1 more player, and then we are done. So let's get him. And there you go. So now we have $203 million in payroll. We didn't opt in for Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton, but you get the idea. Okay. So that's how the Bucks can get Kevin Durant and Drew Holiday. Now, a lot of other pieces have to work together in order to do that, but one team that definitely wants to do that is the Boston Celtics, because they have a lot of moving parts, so to speak. And so here's one example for the Celtics, which is a team I've already talked about, and that is they have 217 million in payroll. Okay, so they would need like the Brooklyn Nets or somebody like that to take on some salary, which we could add to this deal. But I've already talked about the Celtics, so you can check out my Celtics video where I talk about that and break that down. So there you go. That's the Bucks salary cap situation. Thanks for checking out the Sports by Cap podcast right here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get an update anytime we upload new content. And check out the latest videos from the show right here.